Let me hear you say Crux, yeah. Crux, yeah. Let me hear you say Crux, yeah. Crux, yeah. Crux, yeah podcast.
Crux Crawford.
Crux, yeah podcast back again with a returning guest, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just like, I have like returning guest after returning guest, man. Casey Coleman.
Hello. Crux, yeah.
This time, no Paul Smith with
No,
you.
Paul, I'm flying solo, and that motherfucker's flying to Orlando right now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy. I forgot he's going. I couldn't remember when he was going out there.
He goes out there like monthly for his job.
Oh, so it's like a regular thing. Okay, that's right. That's cool.
Yeah, he's got like a good job where they pay for him to fly and shit, and like he's got to rub it on all our noses.
It's fucking lame, bro.
Yeah, I know.
dumb.
Paul, if you're listening to this, kiss my ass, man.
All right, so we're going to kick it off. So we do things a little different from when you were back on.
All
I
right.
usually do all the promo shit at the beginning to get it out of the way, so it's not like at the tail end. And then we got to like squeeze it in after we've already been talking for an hour and shit. So as always, you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Crux Crawford. That's CRUX Crawford because there's no other name like it. And yeah, man, dates I got coming up. There's a couple of things in the air. We got, so first of all, June 10th at Bear Creek Bistro. June 24th, 95% sure I'm going to be hitting the road and doing a show, opening for the one and only Casey Coleman right here in Shreveport, Louisiana. Right
Yeah.
here, dude. Out of town gig. And then, so that's June 24th. And then June, let's see, so the June, and then let me back up. I skipped one. June 11th, I'm going to be doing, I don't have the name of it yet. I'm going to be doing a show in Austin. I'll have more info on that next time because I forgot the name of it and I don't want to have dead air looking the shit up. So whatever, I'll look it up next time. And then there's other stuff that's like getting in the works right now. But first week of August, first Saturday in August, like I've been talking about, I'm going to be back at MacGyver's in Burleson, Texas, boy. Back over there for that monthly show for the second time. Casey, what do they got? Where can they follow you? Where are you going to be?
You can find me on Instagram at Casey_Coleman_1 because I was stupid whenever I set up my Instagram profile. Or you can find me on Facebook. Either one of those. Like I have way too many dates right now to just run them down. So
Yeah, so many.
I usually post like a update of all my dates coming up, so you can find them there.
Hell yeah, dude.
But yeah, getting busy this
You are,
year.
dude. I saw your latest thing. You had like a bunch of fucking dates.
Yeah, got a couple months just slam booked up.
Oh yeah, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, man. So otherwise, dude, how you been? What's been going on? You had shows this weekend, right?
Yeah, they were good, man. It was I'm trying to remember what the Friday one, it was at a place called Dr. Jekyll's in Pantego, which that sounds like a place that I automatically didn't feel comfortable there. It sounds like a mountain climbing company whose clothes I can't afford. So like I don't need to be here. It was all right. I mean, there was a little bit of added pressure because my kind of cousin through marriage came to that show, but it was good. It was good, you know? And then last night did Harvest Hall and Grapevine, and that was good. That was really good too.
So there was added pressure just because he'd never seen you stand up before?
He had never seen me. He was supposed to come to Dallas Hyenas one weekend. The first weekend that my car decided to shit out on me recently
shit.
is probably like April or March.
Uh-huh.
And I probably would have actually gotten to do more time because the features car broke down too.
Oh, shit.
But I wasn't there. So whoever they got to take my spot, like another comic who works at the club got to go up and do 20, 25 minutes. And if I was there, I'd have been like, he opens. I'm going to do the 25. I have the 25.
Dude, I forgot to tell you. So I don't think it will because it normally doesn't really smell that bad. But And it dried up by the time you got here, but I was going to
Is
say
it the
over
cum
there.
spot over there in the middle?
No. It's actually way more wholesome than that. If I was going to say it dried up because it's so fucking hot. And dry.
Wait a minute.
But there's a spot. Check it
how
out.
you were like, it's way more wholesome than a cum spot.
Way
There's
more wholesome.
a lot of things.
Way more wholesome than a cum spot, bro. This is way more than a puddle of cum, dude. This is fucking. Okay, so there was a wet spot over there by the sound booth area.
Wet spot, so it was cum.
It was not. It was not. I was that way more wholesome than that. It's actually going to be cute when I tell you, dude. So it actually wasn't cum or anything crazy like that. If it was still there, and I was gonna say something about it when you walked in. I forgot because it just occurred to me. So if it was still there when you got here, which it's not, I was gonna tell you what that wet spot is. If you're wondering, is the piss of a 20-month-old, dude. My fucking son just decided to go over there to the corner in the sound booth and just like we look over, and then he's just fucking pissing, dude. And he's like looking over like just smiling, dude.
I've been that drunk before. So it's what happens when the cum becomes a person and decides to pee in the corner of the room.
Yeah, dude. Like, you can't even get mad. You can't get mad.
No,
it's just like, dude, it's just funny.
Well, yeah, it's like
so
you
hilarious.
there's two you can't get mad at. It's like if a baby's doing it or if a drunk person's doing it, because you're like, nah.
Yeah, a little toddler, man. So we like to let him have naked time and run around after his baths. So like he was down here doing that, and then he ran in here when I was talking to my wife. I was getting everything set up for the podcast, just kind of talking, and then we look over and he's just like psst, right there, dude. Yeah, and he's a small little boy, so it's like not like he's gonna have like an adult sized piss.
Well, that's that's good to know. Like depending on how many beers I get in on this podcast, I know where I can go piss.
Dude, it's funny because what we were talking about with that, what we were kind of like asking ourselves in general, we didn't look it up or anything, was what, in fact, we might want to fucking look that up now. We were like, it doesn't really smell. Oh yeah, you weren't here when I got the TV.
Yeah, you didn't,
there's been major upgrades in
TV
Crux Nation since you were here last time, bro. Yeah, we've gotten some.
Oh, you want to just watch Obi-Wan Kenobi for the hour?
Yeah, let's just fucking do something totally uninteresting, lose every listener, just watch a fucking movie.
I like to fuck with people sometimes. Yeah, so dude. That's fun.
This podcast is nowhere near big enough to support all that, dude. Everybody will lose interest. Okay, so fucking, and I care about the listeners, so I don't want to bore you to death.
Care about you guys.
Yeah, I do, bro. I love every lit, man. It's fucking cool. Fucking cool that I have listeners, man. Super thankful. So yes, fucking gotta get this shit set up, dude. I can't wait till I get to the level where I can have somebody do this shit for me, so I don't have to fucking do it all from my phone. That day will come, but it's not here yet. So, what we were wondering, goddamn, that was a long tangent. What we were wondering,
I don't even remember what we were wondering anymore.
What the fuck were you
peeing in the corner? Is that a normal thing?
What we were wondering is because I was like, well, luckily, because when he was done, I was like, luckily, it doesn't really.
Oh, that's adorable. Your baby's in an American flag jumpsuit for Memorial Day.
Yeah, well, this is actually old too. This because he's really babyish there because he's full on toddler now. This is an old picture.
That was before he knew how to piss in corners.
This is before he was pissing in corners. So he's still in diapers, but now he can stand. So anyway, when he was done, I was like, luckily it doesn't really smell because his pee doesn't really smell. You know what I mean? Because he's like a little toddler. So like only time unless it's like in a diaper, then it's like concentrated because he's like taking like 20 pisses in the diaper when it's time to change. Mm-hmm. So I was like, luckily it doesn't smell. And then she was like, yeah, because it's not like a dog, like your dog piss there. And then I was like, well, that's interesting though, because like one of the reasons I'm sure why his pee doesn't really smell that bad is because he only drinks like milk and water. Like he doesn't drink soda. We don't like to pump him full of juice because it's a lot of sugar. Yeah. So like it's mostly water and milk that he drinks.
He hasn't been through the shit like adults have yet.
Yeah, like he doesn't drink beer. Obviously, he doesn't drink like soda. He's not drinking a lot of.
Baby would be so cool if he drank beer.
Yeah, dude. Like drink up, pussy. So fucking.
That's what his shirt says.
Drink up, pussy.
Drink up, pussy.
Dude, what's it called? So like he doesn't drink like juices or anything like that really, like let alone like sodas or anything crazy. And then we were wondering like why do dogs? So this was the question that I've been like taking 50,000 hours to get to. Why does it smell so bad? Because all they really drink is water. You know what I mean? And then my wife was guessing, maybe it's because like their kidneys don't filter everything out as much as ours do or something. Okay. You know what I mean? That was a guess. So
That's a good guess. I wouldn't have.
Yeah,
I would have
she knows
said,
a lot about animals. She's a horse trainer.
I would have guessed like, well, there's probably some ball juice in there too that they get when they clean themselves. I don't know. Probably stinks.
It's just such a weird question to ask. Why does dog's piss smell so bad? Foul-smelling urine can indicate a bacterial urinary tract infection.
Oh, so if your dog's piss smells bad, you need to take them to the vet.
Is often experienced after eating asparagus. But dogs' piss kind of smells though. In general, even if they're healthy,
it does. You know, on my drive over from Grapevine, I didn't know we were going to be talking about dog piss.
You had no idea the advanced fucking topics of fucking Crux podcast, dude.
I didn't know we were talking about dog piss. I prepared for all cat piss material.
Oh, fuck, dude. I should have told you. There's a dog piss room.
Dog piss show?
This is a fucking dog piss room right here. Cat piss is worse, though. That's horrible,
it definitely is.
bro.
Me and Paul have a cat now.
Yeah, that's something you can never get rid of, bro.
It's fucking atrocious. Like, I understand now why there was a whole episode on South Park of how you can get high by sniffing cat piss.
Right. Well, dude, speaking of cat piss, dude, you know what's, I don't even know if this is urban legend or not, but I remember like, before the internet was like super advanced, like when I was in high school and I was smoking a ton of weed, and you guys like get fucked up and you have drug rumors with different people that you're partying with, where they're like,
when
bro,
was this? What year was this?
This is we're basically the same age, so this is like early 2000s.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, this is like, fucking 9/11ish,
All right.
Somewhere around there. That whole 9/11 era. I was on a lot of drugs then, so that whole whole
that's
time.
Probably throughout history of our life, that's probably the best time to be on drugs. 9/11 and COVID.
That's actually a good way to reference it, right? Like fucking, so when was this? At 9/11ish, Fucking 01, 02ish.
It's the time when drugs actually did help.
Like Eminem was super big and like hot and new and young. 9/11 happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What else? Survivor was big. Like different like things in my mind where I'm just like, what was popular? What was going on? So
so the phantom drugs.
Yeah. So like different stories, like when you're getting fucked up, like back then it wasn't as sophisticated. Like obviously you didn't have a phone you could look up and see if it was true or not. Like the internet existed, but you went on a computer and you looked at it, where there's many comprehensive answers as now, right? For like obscure shit. So like one of the rumors that I heard from a bunch of people was like, yeah, bro, so like when you grow weed, the secret to making it really extra good is to soak the seeds in cat piss.
What?
Yeah, dude. And it's like, that's like one of those dumb things you hear that I'm like, dude, looking back on it, it's like, that probably was totally not true.
Did they say why it would help?
No, this is fucking, you don't question that shit.
No,
if you're hanging out with people that suggest that shit, do you think you're in a mindset where you're going to go, well, why is that? Let's talk about that.
You could say what you want. That guy probably started like one of the biggest like weed growing dispensaries in like either California or Oklahoma. He was like, I got the cat piss weed though.
Or he just, that was his suggestion for everything. And that's just the thing that I heard him say. Like everything he says. You want to know how to make really tasty donuts, bro? You fucking mix the batter with cat piss.
You want to know how you make Pizza Hut pizza better? Throw it in some cat piss.
Yeah, like maybe that was just, I got him on the weed smoking session, and then he just goes around and says that to everybody, dude. Yeah. So you want to lay a great foundation, cat piss.
Cat piss is the flavoring that nobody knows about.
Yeah, dude. I don't see any other. Why does my dog's pee Another reason your dog's pee might stink is due to dehydration. But see, I feel like
I just saw maybe. Like that's why cat's piss smells so bad. It's because like the ammonia smell in it. Is
that it?
I think so because it's a sharp like it's a smell. Whenever I walk in the house, if the litter box hasn't been cleaned, I almost fucking faint.
Yeah, it's horrible, dude. Yeah. It's and if they piss in or on any surface wherever you live, dude. Yeah. It's so hard to get rid of that, and like so anybody stepping in can go, oh, a cat lived here. Like unless you get that shit deep cleaned or. That's something, bro.
That's why I'm glad I'm moving out and Paul's staying on the lease. So if the rental company's like, it smells like there was a cat pissing in here, I'm like, Casey had nothing to do with that.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Maybe it's just because they fucking, or maybe dog's piss doesn't have to smell that bad. Maybe it is just because of dehydration. Because that's humans too. Like, you know what I mean?
And
Like
it stinks.
piss. Yeah. Body
More
odor.
dehydrated.
If you're not drinking enough water, that like your sweat will smell, the worse it'll smell. If you're super hydrated.
You're talking to somebody who just brought beer to this podcast. I didn't bring water, so I know exactly what
you could have
drank.
but see, you could still be hydrated because you might have.
That's true.
You might drink a lot of water every day. It's all about what you do every day, right?
Yeah, I tried to drink
Yeah.
enough water, but
Because like the more dehydrated you are, like the more your BO, like your sweat stinks. Like if you're really hydrated, your sweat actually, as long as you're taking a shower after you work out or whatever, it actually doesn't smell that bad.
you're thinking that I work out.
In general,
That is adorable.
just in general, dude.
I need to, but
Just in general, it was crazy, dude. Because like, it's been so hot. Like, so normally when I go work out, I'll run to and from the gym because it's like a mile and a half away from my house. So I haven't been doing that because
so you do a pre-workout before your actual workout is. You like work out to
Oh,
go
yeah.
work out, and then after you're done working out, you
Yeah.
work out some more.
yeah. This is the first time
Okay.
that I ran in a while. Normally I've just been driving to the gym because it's been so fucking hot.
Yeah.
And so today, because it was so windy, it was hot, but it was windy. So it actually wasn't that bad. So today is the
So it
first
just
time.
felt like you were running in an oven.
I felt like I was running in a nice breezy oven. Yeah, it wasn't as bad. It wasn't because the sun wasn't beating down as hard.
Yeah.
So fucking
Nice. I'm the one drinking beer. You're just drinking
I'm
sparkling
drinking fucking water, bro.
Drinking sparkling
That's
water.
the fucking sparkling water.
Oh, y'all have HEBs out here, Paul.
yeah,
Oh,
out in this area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of jealous. HEBs are
Dude,
dope.
everybody here, they are. And I didn't realize how crazy people were about them here until I went to a friend's housewarming in like north of Fort Worth. And
Brought HEB shit.
he said, "Where do you live?" And I told him the town I live in. And then he was like, "Oh, you have the HEB."
yeah. Well, supposedly hearsay is they're trying to come into Dallas, but
Yeah, that's what the word on the street is. They're supposed to put one up north somewhere.
yeah, we'll see.
We'll see, dude. It is cool. It is a really great place, dude. Because when we were looking at this house, like when we first moved here, the realtor was like, "And just so you know, they're like, there's an HEB plus over here." And I was thinking to myself, like, what the fuck? Like, ooh, fucking grocery store. Like, was that all there is to do? Dude, we went there. Dude, he was right. I was
Yeah.
ignorant. That shit is amazing. It's fucking
Yeah.
really nice, dude.
I feel like that's whenever you go to places where there are Buc-ee's and they're like, "Oh, there's a Buc-ee's around." Like,
Yeah. That's
you
a
should
pretty
buy this
impressive
house.
place.
That's a Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
For people who don't know, for people listening outside of Texas, dude, like Buc-ee's is like, picture like a 7-Eleven. Well, that's another interesting thing about Texas too, or maybe this entire region. I don't know, but a lot of like on the West Coast, 7-Elevens, you don't really see them with gas stations. It's just
really?
it's just the
like
7-Eleven.
kind of a bodega kind
Yeah,
of a
just
thing?
it's just a convenience store.
All right.
I've never seen really, unless I'm outside of California, that's the only time I'll see 7-Elevens that have gas stations. Anyway, so picture your gas station like a gas station convenience store, 7-Eleven type place, but like just on steroids. Like it's like if you took one and you blew it up to where it's like 20 times bigger than a normal one, dude.
Yeah, they got basically like probably I would say 100, 150 gas pumps out front,
Insane.
and they've got I don't even know why people are so fucking into them. Honestly,
Yeah, I think it's
It's
just
just-
the novelty. It's just so big.
Yeah.
They don't have them in Louisiana, right?
no, not yet. I'm
Not
sure
yet.
they're coming, but they'll have to change the mascot to an alligator.
Well, also the space, because like the thing about fucking Texas, there's so much space and shit. You know
There
what I
is
mean?
in Louisiana too.
Is
There's
there?
a lot of space
Okay.
in North Louisiana. Yeah, because the major cities aren't really actually major, other than New Orleans.
Okay.
You know? So,
Okay.
like Shreveport's not very big.
Okay.
Like none of the cities are very big.
Right.
So they have plenty of room. Buc-ee's, if you're listening, you have plenty of room in Louisiana.
collectively, if
Just
you guys are all just
throw
listening.
me like 10% of all the shit you make there.
The crazy thing to me is all the urinals in the and the like the toilets in the bathroom. They're so
clean.
clean. They're
They're
so
very
fucking.
clean.
They must have a guy coming in there
Very
hourly.
clean. I just hope it's not the guy who also makes the barbecue, because the barbecue sandwiches are great, and I don't want to know that it's the same guy.
Yeah, dude. I hope it's not the cat piss guy.
Oh, yeah.
Like he's like, yeah, I clean Buc-ee's bathrooms now. That's,
That's
what
what
I do.
It's human piss. I should have been putting the weed in human piss.
Yeah, just one of those things. I'm trying to think of what other like fucking half baked dumbass rumors that you just kind of hear, like when you're just getting high with people, or especially when you're younger, and like you just kind of believe.
Oh yeah. Well, I
Trying
don't
to think
even
what
know if
else.
they're rumors. I've heard things that I
Did you get fucked up in high school, like as a teenager and stuff?
No, I was more in my 20s whenever.
Okay. Okay.
After I started stand up, I started smoking a lot of weed and doing drugs and shit. And people always did that fucking. They tried to give me that fucking guilt trip, like, you know, if you smoke weed, like it makes your sperm like dumb and lazy. And I'm like, good. That's what I want. I don't have to use condoms, and I can still smoke weed. What? Tell me more about this like miracle drug, Dr. Oz. This is fantastic.
Yeah, that's fucking great, dude. You're like, good.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I don't need to be having a baby right now.
Yeah, they used to talk about weed like it was just so dangerous, like in the 90s and early 2000s. Like it was just the world has totally changed with that shit. The country, I should say, has totally changed, like when it comes to that shit, like culturally. Like, dude, it was like, it's a fucking, you know, it still is a Schedule 1, you know, substance, right? Controlled substance, right? Federally, but still, man, they used to talk about like it's horrible. Yeah, but it affects your brain.
Yeah, they were trying to spread all that shit again of like, I'm trying to remember the Reefer Madness, that movie.
Yeah.
Like they were trying to redo all of that shit again. Like they were just spreading that same kind of information. I'm like, you fuckers are stupid.
Yeah.
It's not like that,
dude.
It's not like that.
Another one I remember they were trying to tell everybody is that it'll make you grow tits. Like if you're a male.
That is true, but that's because you get the munchies.
Right. It's the estrogen from your shitty diet. It's not the weed itself. It's not like THC.
Yeah. It's because you eat all that fucking all that Pizza Hut that's soaked in cat urine.
Yeah, the fucking the cat piss Pizza Hut.
Cat piss Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut, I'll tell you, and I talk about this with people that are my age and shit. Dude, Pizza Hut, pretty much undeniably, used to be a lot better. They changed the recipe.
It did. Like back whenever you could like do that read and get a free pizza thing, it was fucking great. Pizza, the little personal pan pizza, it was fucking great. Like, yeah. Now, I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I love how you dumbed that down. You made it so basic, like read and get a pizza. Look, you fucking read and then you get a pizza, bro.
See, basically, like, you know, Pizza Hut didn't want you to be stupid. So,
that is what they did, though. I remember that shit.
You read, you get a pizza.
Yeah, it was like you fucking bought a book or something. It was something, or you log, you log all your hours reading. I remember doing that with my mom, and then you got a little personal pan pizza. Yeah, that's right, dude. I forgot about that.
I did that a few times as a kid.
You're right. I did that a couple times too. Like, but yeah, definitely the recipe. And I had a buddy who worked at Pizza Hut in high school. Cat piss guy. No, I'm just kidding. So that cat piss guy was like one of those.
That's why the recipe changed. Oh shit.
Yeah, cat right. Piss guy that's the cat piss in the pizza.
The cat piss. He was right. Oh my god.
That's it. No, so like, what's it called? That guy that said the cat piss thing, by the way, he's one of those people where it's one of those people you.
I want to hope he's like your biggest listener,
dude. That would be funny, bro. Because he's not going to be anymore with what I'm about to say. Because, dude, he was one of those guys where when you said you didn't really do that, but you're still going to know what I'm talking about. Like, so when you're like getting fucked up and like you're in high school and shit, hanging out with your friends, you're doing things like younger than you're generally speaking compared to people. I didn't know this at the time because everybody that I ran around with was fucked up and kind of a troublemaker and doing a lot of drugs and shit. So I didn't realize that wasn't normal, right? Compared to like the average teenager, right? The average teenager is not really doing that as intensely, right?
Yeah.
So we were hanging out with a lot of individuals that were like older, right? Like guys in their 20s. And like looking back now that like I've been through my 20s and like I'm in my 30s, like looking back being like, dude, I would never fucking hang out like. I remember there was one time when I accidentally ended up hanging out with like a bunch of teenagers when I was in my 20s, and I was thinking to myself, like, I got to get out of this. This isn't good. You know? It was like a sudden thing I put. It wasn't like I planned it. It was just like all of a sudden I realized, like, dude, I'm hanging out with a bunch of teenagers. I'm a loser. I need to get out of this. This guy would regularly hang out with teenagers.
Yeah, I couldn't do that either. Like that's kind of what my. I went back to college at 27. That's kind of what it turned out being. Is I'm hanging out with a bunch of like 18 to 22 year olds.
Well, at least you're doing something productive, though.
Yeah, but I'm like trying to make jokes and be funny, and they're like, "We don't get that reference." I'm like, "I need to go home. I need to go home."
That's funny, dude.
Y'all don't fucking get my Simpsons references. You fucking.
That's the worst, right? The fucking Simpsons references. What's it called? So, yeah, that guy was one of those guys where like I was sitting there like thinking to myself when I was hanging out with my friends and like we were getting high with this dude, like thinking like I'm never gonna turn out like this. This guy's a fucking loser.
So that was like that was a turning point for you personally.
No, it got way
Was it?
worse.
Oh, I got way worse.
It got way worse after
You
that.
were hanging
Turning
out
point came, just not yet. Yeah.
Okay.
The turning point was coming. It was just a couple years
You
down the
were
road.
getting high, hanging out with babies that are pissing in the corner.
Yeah, dude. I wish, dude. That'd be fucking interesting. No, I had fucking no interest in hanging out anywhere near any babies, man, back then.
No, I still don't, man.
Yeah.
I went to a friend's pool party. It was like over this Memorial Day weekend. And it was just couples and their kids. And I'm like, I don't belong here. I don't know. It was my boss that invited me. And I was like, I don't belong here. I hope he doesn't. Jonathan, I hope you're not listening to this shit. I'm not going to tell you about this podcast.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Yeah, it was just me and the kids and couples. And I was like, I'm a single dude. I got a show in 2 hours. I don't need to be here.
No, and that's another thing. Like this one girl a while ago, before we had, our first one is, she said she had a kid.
I like that. That's how you talk about your baby. By the way.
First one.
First one. We had that first one.
It's like a movie.
Got it out of the way.
So before I had any kids, this was a few years ago, there was a girl that I worked with that had kids, right? And she was like, I understand, because she's like, I love my children. She's like, I do not like other children, right? That aren't mine,
that's that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
Too. I think
So it's like, she's like, I get it, because like I wouldn't want to hang out with any other kids but mine, or
Well,
like,
dude, every time I'm at the store and like either Target or Walmart or whatever, and I hear kids like fucking freaking out on their parents, I start Googling where I can get a vasectomy, like right in the store.
yeah, it's weird, dude. Like when you have kids, it's interesting because just like the classic, I would hear this all the time and not understand it. It's hard if you don't have children to understand it, but like you do really change. It does change you. And not that you can hear that and understand that. Like people would tell me that too.
No, I mean, I kind of can't, like I've been through that whole situation where I dated a girl who had a kid and I got really close to her kid. So I kind of knew what it was like to kind of have a kid.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. It wasn't my kid, but I treated him like he was my kid.
Until he pissed in the corner, then you had to
Yeah,
leave.
and then I was like, well, I got to rub your nose in this, bro.
And then you're like, hold on, let me put some weed seeds down here and let you fucking
Like,
fertilize it.
And his mom will think she did it.
This dude I hang out with says it's going to make him real good. No, yeah, so you kind of got a little taste, indirect taste.
Well, yeah, I hung out with a kid for like probably a year and a half, So
I'm going to clip that. Yeah, I hung out with a kid for like a year and a half.
Oh, God. You don't want anybody to listen to this podcast.
That's fucking great, dude. Like fucking like mix it up. Like hung out with a kid for a year and a half, half. Hung out with a kid.
You're going to make it one of those YouTube.
Yeah, one of those auto-tune. Hung out with the kid for a year and a half. Wow, dude, we're fucking veering off the road.
This is what always happens whenever I show up.
No, it's great. No, that's good. I like doing that shit, bro.
All right, let's do more of it. I want to do that.
It's fun, man. It's fun.
What I like doing.
It's a sign that you're that it's for anybody. It's a sign that you're getting better at just kind of riffing and going off on shit. Cause like it's tough, dude, when you realize when you start a podcast episode and you're like, fuck, dude, like you realize with like who you're talking to, like you realize like, fuck, you were thinking in your head, I'm going to have to steer this whole fucking ship.
Yeah.
Like,
and I don't like being that guest that you have to steer the whole thing with me, but I also like fucking around.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
sure.
like, I've always told everybody that asks what I do when I go on podcasts, I'm like, I just show up with alcohol and see what the fuck happens. I just mess around. I treat it in some ways like a show. Like I'll have a couple drinks and then I'll fuck around.
Well, yeah, and you got so much experience with stand up too. It's like it's definitely like easy for you to kind of jump in and shit,
Kind of. I mean, I don't have a script with this that
it's
I
a
can
different
go
thing
back to.
for sure. It's a different skill set.
Like with this, I don't have a script I can go back to,
Yeah.
but I'm also decent conversationally funny. So
Right. Yeah, for sure, of course.
I
And then
can jump
also,
into that.
the better you know people too, the better it is. That's another thing.
because you're not all like if it's the first time you've done a podcast with somebody, you're all, okay, I don't know how I'm gonna be funny with this person.
Yeah.
It's
or
weird.
Or if it's a guest that you just don't know that well. Like as a host, like if you have somebody come in that you want to talk to, but you don't know them that well, you don't really know like what their boundaries are. You don't know if I can like what who they are. You don't know each other that well. So that's another thing that kind of affects it. But going back to the fucking Pizza Hut thing, dude, it used to be better. My buddy worked there in high school. And he said for sure he remembers when they switched, because when they got bought out by that company, because it's like that company that's like a subsidiary of Pepsi. They own like Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, and KFC.
Okay.
That's why they serve Pepsi products at all three of those restaurants.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So like when that company bought them out, that's when it got a little shittier and like they changed the recipe. So whatever that was.
I think that's what people are afraid of with like Whataburger. Like with that Chicago company bought Whataburger.
Oh, really?
Yeah, people are like, oh, I don't know if it. I haven't noticed a change in Whataburger, but everybody's like, Whataburger sucks now. I'm like,
I think it's pretty good, to be
seems
honest.
the
I'm a
same.
newcomer to it, but I
it
like
seems
it.
the same to me.
Yeah.
I've been here for years, and the wait time is just as long, if not longer. So
Yeah.
it's authentic.
It's popular.
Yeah.
It's popular as fuck, bro. It's definitely like the in and out of Texas
Yeah,
for sure.
it definitely is. It's
So they don't have them in Louisiana?
Whataburgers?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
They do?
They do.
Okay. They have them in
It's-
Arizona too.
It's spewed out that far, you know.
Spewed out.
That's probably not the right.
What did they say that in their marketing meetings? Like, okay, so we spewed
need
out
to-
into 5 states
We
now.
need to spew. We need to spew.
If you're gonna spew in this. Remember that Wayne's World? Garth?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. He's got like that tiny little container. Dude, it's fucking classic. They don't make movies like that anymore, dude. They don't make funny movies anymore, bro. They
Not
can't.
really.
Everybody's
I
scared.
mean, well, yeah, I think it depends. Like some movies they try to be funny, but
They're afraid.
they have to wrap it in something else, like an action thing, you know.
Yeah.
Like I watched The Lost City
Mhm.
on, I think it's like Paramount Plus or whatever. It's got Sandra Bullock and a couple other people that I think Brad Pitt's in there for a little bit. And they try to be funny, but it's mostly action based.
Is this new?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
pretty new.
I gotta try. I didn't hear.
It's all right. I mean, it's all right.
Yeah. Did you like Bird Box?
I never watched Bird Box.
That's speaking of Sandra Bullock. You know, that came out in like 2018 or whatever.
I never watched Bird Box, but
It did really well on Netflix. It was okay. It was
I
an
remember
interesting
it was a
concept.
fucking series of memes for a while. Like,
Yeah.
just Sandra Bullock with a fucking mask on, like just her eyes covered.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Well, because like it was an interesting concept. I like stuff like that because there's a whole thing about the thing that was I can't remember if it was aliens or if it was just some force that they didn't explain. But like the thing that was taking everybody over, it's like they never showed it, but when you saw it,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
when you changed.
oh
So,
yeah.
It's one of those things. And some people, I like that
I'm trying to
stuff.
think of other movies like that. I feel like
I like Paranormal Activity for that reason because you never really see the big fucking entity that's
You
in all of
don't.
them, you know? So,
I feel like the Happening was kind of like that too. I don't know if you ever watched The Happening.
yes.
I feel like it was kind of like that. You never saw what the thing was, but it just
Yeah. Wait, so the happening was more like they were trying to they figured out it was like the pollen or some shit. Like it was like
I
a
don't
tiny
know,
little,
I think at the end it was like the Earth was trying to fucking kill people
yeah,
to get rid of them.
to get rid
you
of
know?
people. Yeah. Cause people are
Yeah.
like a cancer, which is true, man. I think about that
People
all the
are.
time. I think about that all the time. Cause if you look at like
Look, I'm not the Earth, and I think sometimes people are like a cancer.
yeah. Cause like, dude, I think about that all the time where it's like, dude, like if you look at the universe, you look at the solar system, like, planets, you know, like, and this isn't like some original theory of mine. This is something that people have said. Like if you look at planets and you look at solar systems and you look at galaxies, it's very similar to like cells in the body. If you look at it on the molecular level, if you look at microscopic.
That makes sense.
So if you think about that, like what if we are one tiny little cell inside of some being's body, right? And we think we're like masters of the, you know, part of this universe, but really we're just inside a body. We're just a bunch of cells. And obviously it's so huge to us that we can only see what we can see, right?
Yeah.
And what if we are actually like a cancer cell inside of this? Because we're fucking destroying things, like as a
We are.
society.
I mean,
you know?
we are.
And then like maybe like the people that are like, just like, hey, don't fucking use carbon emissions and try not to do this and try not to like those are like the body's immune system.
Getting,
but like the cancer is so prevalent that it just overtakes
you're
it.
You're getting way too California for the people in Texas right now.
Just check and think about it, man.
Government agents are going to show up at your house.
Yeah. Just think about it, man.
No, I agree with you. I
know.
Definitely agree with you.
Yeah, dude. The crazy thing is I don't even do any drugs, bro.
You don't. You're just, I think you're still high from when
I just never came back.
You never came down.
Oh, man. I had those moments, dude, because like when you fucking have you ever taken mushrooms or acid or anything?
I've done acid, yeah.
Okay. So
How was it for you? How was acid for you?
It was like to be honest, I liked mushrooms way better, personally.
Well, I could see that because acid is just too fucking intense.
It was very chemically compared to mushrooms. Yeah. Like there's downsides and upsides to both.
I can't compare because I've never done mushrooms. Okay, but acid was
So the thing with acid is like it's not natural, right? It's got to be you get the hold on, man. Let me tell you, because like you know how the whole thing with acid, like it naturally like LSD. Naturally occurs like in mold on certain things like bread. So that's like they talk about that. That's like a theory kind of thing where like back in the day when people claim they saw werewolves or demons or et cetera,
they were on LSD.
They believe that people ate moldy bread before it was like public knowledge that you weren't supposed to do that. Or maybe if you were poor, you had no choice, dude. Like you got this fucking bread, you need to eat it. And then some people would trip incidentally off of eating moldy bread and shit. So who knows? Supposedly it naturally occurs there, and then they synthesize it to blow it up and make it chemically more advanced, right? So it's not natural, right? It's not as opposed to something you pick off out of the ground. So it's intense depending on how it's manufactured and stuff. So everything is definitely amplified. It lasts longer. It's more chemically advanced. Mushrooms, like they definitely have kind of more of a happy kind of fuzzy feel to them. The thing about the downside of mushrooms, though, and a lot of people say, now, granted, this is a little outdated because I don't do the crazy advanced mushrooms that some people do now. Like, but in terms of, if you're just taking mushrooms and you're like eating them, right? And with like drinking water or soda or beer or something and like eating the mushrooms, when you're digesting them, the whole time you feel a little queasy because they're a tiny bit. Some people experience it it's really intense, and then some people don't, it doesn't bother them. I had different experiences, but it messes with your stomach a little bit the whole time. Like there's there's kind of an element of your stomach because your body is digesting something.
I like that while we're talking about this, there's like a fucking, I don't know, Sesame Street ad rolling through.
Yeah. The screensaver of the fucking Roku TV is fucking Elmo.
So anyway, let's talk about acid more.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, so mushrooms like definitely have kind of a more earthy kind of fuzzy feel to them, but like the stomach thing kind of messes with you a little bit the whole time.
I think I could deal with that because I used to get that a lot whenever I would drink green tea on an empty stomach. Like it would fuck with my stomach a little bit, but it was fine. Acid fucked me up though. Like, yeah, I don't know. You said you've done acid. What was your experience?
Yeah, so all this stuff was a long time ago. But so what I was gonna say is the one time I had a bad trip. So I had a bad trip on mushrooms once. I had a bad trip on acid once.
I only did acid once, and I had a bad trip.
Did you?
So yeah.
So the bad trip I had was what I got tripped up about. What I got caught up on was I was afraid I was never gonna come back, and that started messing with me. Talking about how never coming back and shit, like we were joking about.
Is this on the shrooms?
No, the bad acid.
Okay.
The bad mushroom trip was something totally different. So the bad acid trip was me just like going like, you're never going to come back from this. This is just how your brain's going to work now. You're never going to be normal again.
Oh, shit.
So then I started going on a rabbit hole with that and panicking. And that's what caused me to have a bad trip.
Fuck.
Mushrooms, the bad trip, the one time out of all the times I took mushrooms, the one time I had a bad trip was because I smoked crack for the first time the night before.
Oh, so that'll do it.
Yeah.
I think
so I was just walking around tripping, going like, I'm such a crackhead. I'm a filthy crackhead.
Oh, you just leveled up in my room, in my like world, dude.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I went hard, bro. I went hard back in the day.
You went that hard.
Like I got sober at 19. I got sober super young, but dude, up until then, man, I was going full speed.
We should definitely talk about this shit more.
I do talk about it quite a bit. Maybe I should talk about it even more. But yeah, I've definitely mentioned this on the podcast before.
I mean, like on stage.
Oh, on stage? Yeah, I haven't figured out or really even put energy into figuring out how to make that funny.
Yeah, it could take a bit.
Right?
So that was your experience with, because my acid experience was more cinematic. It's fucking crazy. Like, I just remember laying on the couch for a couple hours watching like the red shit
That's
on the
the
walls.
second one in the background, by the way. That's not the first one. That's the second one that's making noise in the background, folks. If you can
What,
hear
the
the
cat?
baby noise.
Oh, that's the baby.
That's a fucking baby. It's like,
See, I'm used to cats.
he does kind of
sounds
sound
like
like
a
a cat.
cat.
He does sound like a cat sometimes. Sorry, man. So you were talking about your acid drip and all that shit.
Yeah, it was like I was watching all the red shit on the walls like go down. It was like dripping down. Right. So I was just laying on the couch. I was like, this is fine. This is okay. This is fine. And then I went to the bathroom to go pee. And I was using the bathroom, and the towel on the towel rack tried to strangle me. Right. And then I leave the bathroom, and I see like a very like 1950s, 60s like TV version of the devil, like, you know, just red with the little horns.
Very posh devil.
Yeah, he's just like chopping vegetables in the kitchen. And I was like, fuck this.
Wow.
I leave, I go outside to hang out in front of the house where everybody's smoking cigarettes and whatnot. And I shit you not, like, it's July. It was July whenever this happened. I saw trick-or-treaters walking around, and I saw like a jack-o'-lantern next to the door, and I was like, I can't do this shit anymore.
Yeah.
Like, this is too much.
Yeah. So wait, did you actually see a guy that there was an entire visual hallucination manifested, or did you see a guy that was dressed up like the devil chopping vegetables?
There was no guy like that. It was me and people that worked at the comedy club and a couple other comics, and we were like, we trust each other. We'll trip together for the first time on acid.
Right.
I should have went home. It was a full like visual manifestation of all that shit.
Fuck, dude. Well, at least it was a pretty fucking healthy devil. Like, hey guys, let's get our basic vitamins and minerals in before we go to hell.
It was very. It was a very like baby pissing in the corner of the room kind of a devil.
Like, hey, we are going to burn in eternal inferno for eternity.
Awesome.
However, we are going to make sure that we get our essential vitamin A and vitamin K. Yeah, that's interesting.
It was fucking weird.
Acid is more, and it kind of depends on what you take, but like, acid can be more visually driven, like with the hallucinations as well as the emotional stuff. But mushrooms is mainly there's a little bit of visuals, you know, trails and colors and stuff like that. Things change, colors are more intense, like, you know, sounds. But a lot of it is very emotional too. So, you know what I mean? It's very much like, you know, you experience intense emotions and stuff. Acid, you have that too.
I'm okay with that. Well, with acid, it was, for me, mostly there were some intense emotions, I would say.
Everything gets like, the commonality is that like, so mushrooms still make everything very cartoony. Like everything gets all cheery and bright. Or
I like that. I would like that better.
Yeah, well, as long as it's a good trip. I'm sure everything can get all evil and intense too. I'll tell you what, like when you're tripping with acid and mushrooms, this is my experience. And I've talked about this before. Drunk people, when you're tripping, seem like so primal. Like they seem dumb.
Really,
like drunk people are dumb. Like ogres, like cavemen. Like fucking, I remember one time, dude, like once again, like fucking back in the day in high school, me and my buddy took mushrooms. This was like after I'd taken a bunch of times. So we were sitting there in my fucking, at my dad's house in the garage, and our buddy he's like, I don't take any of that shit. He didn't smoke weed. He's just a drinker. He just drank a lot.
Yeah.
So he's just sitting there progressively getting more and more drunk, like drinking beer after beer. And fucking, we're just starting to trip out hard, and he's just like fucking, like fucking, just like negative, negative, aggressive, like smell the fucking base smelled. You know what I mean? Like it starts to smell because like that sense gets enhanced too when you're tripping, and like he just kept making like negative comments and making fun of it. Like in reality, it probably would have been funny. Like he was just fucking around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But with like the fucking trip lens on you, and your reality is distorted. He just seemed like this fucking ogre that was just negative and smelled and burped. He was just sloppy.
Yeah.
It was nasty.
I'd like to see the reverse, like whenever he was like busting y'all's balls.
These fucking two pussies took shrooms. They fucking started getting all sensitive on me and crying for no reason.
Yeah, they just stared at me after I made a joke, like, okay.
Yeah. No, I'm sure we equally seemed dumb to him, which is why he kept making fun of us. Because like we probably started going, oh my God, the fucking light is on. Oh, like dumb basic shit. Yeah, like, you know, we could understand each other because we got that fucking, it was.
But he couldn't understand anybody.
No, he went home. Oh yeah, and he got Wendy's too, because like you don't want to really eat like when you're tripping, because like it's like you could like you get queasy.
Yeah,
and,
I feel like it's
you're
the
all
same with
speedy.
acid.
Yeah,
Really,
yeah, you're all speedy. It's not
you don't
common.
eat when you do drugs.
Yeah, it's not common like that. You want to trip out and eat usually.
It's after you sober up the next day that you're like, I'm gonna fucking eat everything I can.
Yeah. No, totally. It like, so he ate Wendy's and like that was nasty. And like, he was like, just fucking like a fucking ogre, dude. It was interesting. But yeah, that's the only time I smoked crack the night before. That was the first time I smoked crack. I want to hear that story. So there's like two guys. Like,
I don't have a crack story. So.
I got fucking.
I know I'm.
I got pretty much every drug there is. I have a story.
I know I'm from Louisiana, but I don't have a crack story.
Dude, everywhere, every state has people that smoke a lot. Like,
I know they do.
Every fucking. But you can go to Wyoming in the woods. There's motherfuckers smoking. crack.
I had people in my family that I think did fucking shit like that.
Yeah, dude. So like my crack story was at the time. So I think I just turned 18. And I was either 17 or 18.
Is that when you decided to 18 crack birthday?
It was fucking, dude, I was already like really into pills. I was like snorting all kinds of opiates and all kinds of pills and taking Klonopins and Xanaxes and all kinds of shit. Like I was already far graduated into hard drugs by then.
You already knew the cocktails to have.
To a degree, like back then, like I'd already graduated to like the senior. I graduated a little bit early. So like, but I still hung out with all my friends. Obviously we still went to high school parties. Obviously. So, we would like go to parties. Like by then we were already doing pills. I was snorting pills all the time. We would go to house parties and go to the parents' medicine cabinets and steal any of their medications. So we would just jack them all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was horrible, dude. I was not a good person back then. So, we were doing all that. That had been going on for like a year or whatever. This was like just summer after like graduation. I was hanging out at my buddy's apartment. This is like three dudes who were leasing, like three fucking children essentially that were leasing an apartment. Like they had no business having an apartment. It was one of those things where like, God knows how the landlord made a decision to rent an apartment to these fuckers, but like it was a 2-bedroom apartment.
They're desperate.
Yeah, it was a flop pad, bro. Yeah, it was a flop pad. It was not in a great area, which is probably how they got the apartment. So,
fuck yeah, absolutely.
One of those things. So like, dude, two guys, 2-bedroom. It basically was like a fucking punk rock, fucking metalhead flop pad. Like 7 people actually living there. I was crashing on the couch unofficially.
I feel like we would have hung out if we would have gone to the same school. I feel like we would have hung out.
Oh yeah, that was my life, dude. Because I was like, I was a drummer. I was playing because I hadn't graduated to vocalist yet. I was just a drummer. I was like playing drums for 8 hours a day, fucking like drummer in different bands. Like nice. I was like gonna be like a drum. That's what I want. At that time, I was like, I want to do music. I want to get big with a band with music, but as a drummer, that was like my focus at that period of time.
I did that but with guitar.
Yeah. So dude, I was like, I played hours a day along to fucking Slayer albums, Slipknot, like Pantera, like all those albums. I could play them all the way through. Like I was like, people would just come over and we would get fucked up and people would watch me play the drums.
That was me in college. Like I picked drums back up in college and I just played through like Metallica albums.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
Just on the kit.
Yeah. My favorite albums were Ride the Lightning and And Justice for All. Those
Ride the Lightning was so fun to play, dude.
It's a classic album, dude. It's a classic album.
For Who the Bell Tolls, great song.
Classic song, dude. Fucking great.
Fun to play.
Great song, great to play, great to listen to. That album's awesome. But yeah, like so I was hanging out with just another night hanging out, like doing God knows what I was already on at that point. These two fucking like weird motherfuckers, like probably in their looking back, they had to be at least in their 30s, if not 40s. Like they were fucking older dudes.
Okay.
It was like a flop pad. So like a bunch of people came over and partied. Who knows what person brought them to the apartment. Yeah. But they're hanging out. It's like 1 a.m. They're like, hey bro, like we went into one of the rooms and like I was just hanging out like with a couple people and they're like, hey bro, like we're about to smoke some crack. You want to fucking smoke crack with us, kid? And I was just like, yeah, sure. So we fucking smoked. And so I can fully understand having smoked. So I smoked crack that one time and then I shot crack once.
Okay.
Along with like
You're
heroin.
giving me like a full fucking like Motley Crue book.
Big dude. I had a Motley Crue. I had a weird 21st century version of Motley Crue.
Yeah,
very
like
short-lived with no money, but like the drugs and shit and the partying. Yeah.
Like all the
girls, the partying. Yeah. All that shit.
Your teeth are surprisingly nice for all the drugs.
Well, I was so young. I got lucky, bro. I got rid of all that shit so young. I haven't done that shit in forever. I was young, So, but yeah, like all that shit. So I smoked it with them, and I can understand why people end up like sucking dick for it and fucking stealing car stereos, because it is super intense.
Well, that's good to know, because I brought some crack with me tonight.
You're like, I had some plans in store, bro.
I need my dick sucked.
Yeah. So how much of this do I have to?
I know you're a father now.
Dude, I'm telling you, bro. Like, I could tell, because dude, I like smoked it. I got high with them. They all, got it all ready and shit, So we all smoked, all three of us, like, we're taking hits off this crack pipe. It was super intense. I'd already snorted coke at that point, so I knew what being on cocaine was. But crack is like a super intensified, short-lived fucking version of that. It's like 5 minutes. It doesn't last long.
Really?
Crack high lasts like a few minutes. It does not last long.
Okay, that's why they're always chasing that shit.
Yes, that's why they end up fucking burning through it so quickly. So like, because unlike like meth or something that lasts like a day, like fucking crack is quick. It's quick and intense.
That's why they gotta like spend all their money to go get more.
Yeah. Oh, dude, bro. So I'll tell you, like, I am way more of like, as a drug addict, I was way more of like a downer focused user, as opposed to a
too.
Yeah, right. As opposed to like a tweaker or like a cokehead or a crackhead. So luckily I didn't get I wasn't prone to that, because that shit was so fucking crazy. But dude, I could understand. My point is, I got high, it went away. We did it again, then they were out. Then I was like, fuck, what should we do? Then they went and bought more crack. I was like, here, I had like money. I was like a fucking busboy at a restaurant, right? Or like, so I was like, I got my tip money. So
this was me at strip clubs. The first time I went to a strip club, I was like, I got money. I got more money. I'll go get money. It's like fucking.
It's a drug too.
Titties are like crack. Yeah.
That whole atmosphere is a drug too. I definitely had that experience as well. So what's it called? So yeah, man. I remember we did it that first time, and then they were fiending too. So they were like, yeah, should we get more crack? I'm like, yeah, dude. So this is, in retrospect, now that I'm older and wiser, I don't know, one of two things happened here. I gave him like a 20 or whatever the fuck. And like, I was like, yeah, go get it, So one of the dudes, they went and got, one of the dudes left, and the other dude was just sitting there. We're both sitting there like, yeah, like I can wait, like, exciting, fiending for the next crack hit. That dude left for like 10, 15 minutes, whatever, came back and was like, fuck, man, like he loaded it up, and he's like, we got ripped off. Like, they fucking ripped us off, bro. So in retrospect, one of two things happen. That does happen. So one of two things happen. They 100% happen to me with different drugs. So they could have literally gotten ripped off. Like, maybe that guy got,
or that guy just saved a little bit.
Or they're like, look at or they're like, bro, this fucking kid, this is a kid.
Yeah, he don't know shit about this right now.
This kid doesn't know shit about shit. He's not streetwise. He hasn't been around the block like we have. Let's fucking hustle him. So they might have he might have went and bought crack, and instead of having 3 heads on it, he might have been like, oh shit, we got ripped off.
I feel like that could be more, because,
could have been.
Reputable, there are reputable crack dealers out there.
They weren't the most. So I do
think that's a good point, though. Like, different people, like, depending on how you are. Like, if you're a laid back person, you're probably more like a downer. Like, you'll drink.
It's supposed to be the
opposite things,
right? like, so as a stand-up comedian, right? If you're outgoing, you're doing things that are you're outspoken, you're more of like a type A personality. Statistically, you're probably going to gear more toward downers, because that's what's going to bring you down and chill you out.
Yeah.
People that are more introverted, they usually end up being like tweakers or meth or crackheads or cokeheads, because that shit spikes them up.
Well, I was just going to say, like, I think I'm a chill dude anyway, but I like being more chill.
Yeah.
So I go to those
stand-up comedy. I mean, that's the thing. You got to get up there and you're performing, and it's a very outgoing thing.
It is. It is. But I just like anything that makes me even more chill.
Okay.
True. I will do, like, I've done coke. I've done all those, not the crack, but
yeah. Really don't tell your boss about this podcast now.
Yeah, you shouldn't. You don't need to know the shit I've done.
Yeah.
He's probably done some fucked up shit. He's cool. But yeah, I haven't, like, I've done those things, but I mostly like to do things that, like, make me chill out.
Yeah. Like, me too, if I have a choice. And so what we did, because they quote unquote got ripped off. So whether that was a legit story or a bullshit story,
I think it's probably bullshit.
They left. which I'm guessing
They went to go do the fucking.
they got the real crack.
Yeah,
that
they got ripped. They went to go do the.
See,
crack
this is the
that they
thing. We
didn't
tried to smoke
show.
it, and that's when they realized it was fake. So either that was a really advanced production of getting ripped off, or they really ran a game on
It
me,
wasn't
you know?
very advanced. I think what they did was he got the actual crack, and then he went and he bought like Pop Rocks, and he was like, "Let's smoke Pop Rocks." With this
Very
kid.
well could have, dude, 100%, totally could. Or they might not have,
miles
dude,
out.
I can't remember. It was a long time ago. I was already high and I was super young. They might not have even loaded anything up and just been like, you know, when I wasn't looking or something. Who knows, bro? Anyway, who gives a fuck? It was $20 in fucking 2003. So like,
Yeah, who knows the inflation prices? Of crack right now.
that could have been a $40 crack rock by today's standards. Yeah. So what I did, bro, I spent an hour after they left combing the carpet for fucking crack.
You know what?
And that's a very common thing. You ask anybody that has been addicted to crack.
I have seen potheads do that though. So
this is like a more frantic version, but yes,
yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, it's
I agree.
more chilled. Like they'll take some time out.
Bro, I think
like,
there's some stems.
I'm gonna go to Taco Bell real quick. I'll come back.
Yeah, yeah. Like, so this is fucking, yeah, man. That shit was weird. So next day I get some mushrooms from a friend and then I'm tripping out. So then I was so fixated on the stigma of smoking crack. So like, it's cool. Cause like the fortunate thing about bad trips and good trips is that really it just takes it's all mental, right? It's a mindset. Yeah. So you can come back from them if you're around the right people with the right energy. So like I was walking around by myself, isolating, going like, I'm such a crackhead. I'm a filthy crackhead.
Yeah.
I went to my friend's house. They were all hanging out, smoking weed, chill, right? 3 of them, friends that I knew pretty well.
That brought you
I
back.
come over. I called, you know, because I had a little, you know, basic ass cell phone back then. I called him and was like, man, I'm a fucking crackhead. I need to come over. You know, some weird shroom shit.
But that brought you back.
I sat down with them and I said, I'm just a fucking crackhead. And they went, what do you mean? And I was like, I smoked crack last night. They're like, so? Like, you're not a crackhead. Like, you're 18. Like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah,
you're fine.
You're trying to figure your
You're
shit
fine,
out.
dude. Like,
Trying to
they were like,
figure
well, and they were the same age as me. They're like, yeah, you just did it once, though. You're fine. Everything's fine. And then immediately, dude, the minute they were looking at me and saying that, I just chilled out. I had some water.
Oh, yeah, that's that
and I just chilled
paranoia
out.
that surrounds what you're doing that you think people automatically know.
Yeah.
And they're judging you
Yeah.
for it. And you're like,
Yeah. And my friend was just like, they knew I was tripping, obviously. And they were like, dude, that doesn't matter, you know? Because they'd done shit before too. So they understood my mindset and they were like trying to help me.
Yeah.
So they were like, dude, it's fine. Don't worry. That doesn't
like, chill
matter.
out,
You
chill out.
smoked crack once last night. That doesn't make you a crackhead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I just immediately went, like, just totally chilled out.
felt better.
Yeah. That was fucking, yeah, that was interesting, dude. The other time I did crack was I shot it with heroin. So it was like a speedball, but it was with crack instead of coke.
Damn, dude.
Yeah. I did that with like this guy has to be long.
I'm splicing this story that you're telling me right now in my mind with stories from The Dirt on Netflix. Like
What is that? Is that
Nikki
a show?
Sixx. It's like The
The Dirt, the
Motley
movie,
Crue,
the movie based on
It's
that.
like,
I thought it was stories from The
it's
Dirt, like
the-
something else.
No, it's like Nikki Sixx in
Dirt.
the movie. Whenever
The book.
yeah.
I need to read that book, dude. I had friends who read the
No,
book.
they have a Motley Crue movie based off of that book.
I know The Dirt.
Yeah.
I saw it. I saw
You saw the movie?
my brain fucked up what you were talking about.
Yeah, no, it's a good
It was
movie.
a good movie. I liked it, but I also have heard the book is really good, and obviously, just like any book, it's more comprehensive. So I really want to.
So
read
I'm trying to figure out if you're Tommy or Nikki Sixx.
right, dude. That was fucking crazy. Like, yeah. So that was fast forward. This is like a year or two later. I'm with like this dude.
His baby does totally sound like a cat. by the way.
The younger one sounds like a fucking cat, dude. Does sound like a fucking cat. And anyway, yeah, so I did like, he prepared it all because I didn't even know how to break crack down like that. But this was like an old musician dude that had been in some kind of fucking like jam band or something.
Oh, he knows how to break ground.
Oh yeah, bro. And he was old. Like this guy has to be long dead. He died a long time ago, I guarantee you, because he was old and on the door of death's door back then.
Probably not from crack though. He probably got hit by a bus or something.
He's just fucking maybe. Yeah, who knows? He's dead though for sure. Like this guy is dead. Because that's like fucking years ago. And he was already on his last leg. But yeah, we were in a pay-by-week hotel room that I had rented.
Oh, those are great.
Oh God, I remember the guy who like collected money was actually, he also managed the apartment building that was upstairs. So he actually was pretty straight laced. Like he was not like a dingy guy. Surprisingly,
He just wanted the money.
Surprisingly, he was a actually pretty professional guy. And he came to my door one time, and I had a fucking shot of heroin prepared. I had a heroin needle loaded with heroin sitting on the side table next to my bed. And he's talking to me and he's like, yeah, so is that a heroin needle? And I was like, and I go, dude, and I go, no, that's a pen.
That's a
It's a pen.
that's my EpiPen with my medicine that I need every month.
And he goes, whatever. Anyway, like he knew that it was fucking bullshit, but it was an area where a lot of people were doing drugs. So he's not necessarily going to make a huge deal. It's not like it was like unheard
He's
of.
probably seen that before.
Big time. The people that were renting, this was like in the basement of an apartment building. So it was like the regular apartment building with all the tenants was like up. And this was like in the basement.
It was where like light does not find.
It was hell. It was hell. I saw that devil chopping up vegetables and shit. He was like, "Hey, do you want some cucumbers?"
It's like, "Hey, I'll say hey to Casey for you."
Yeah, exactly, dude. So that was not a good space. But yeah, no, I got tons of stories like that, dude. I got all kinds of shit, fucking craziness from back then.
I don't have a lot of crazy drug stories, but
that's good. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. And then most of my funny stories, like one time,
let's talk about funny stories now.
Well, weed story. I actually told these on stage at the 420 thing that I did on 420. I did the Fort Worth 420 Fest, which was fun. It was like fucking 8.
Where was that at?
It was at a music venue, like the Rail Club. It was like 8 people, but it was fun. It was cool. They were listening. Like it was cool. I had a good set. I told a couple weed stories that I normally don't say on stage, but I just told them because like I know them and they're easy to tell. Yeah, people thought they were funny.
Fucking keep doing them then.
Yeah, I should. You're right. Like, so it's 2 little quick weed stories. Like the first one was, which one of the 2? The first one was like me and my buddy were, the same guy that I was actually like smoking weed with when that cat piss guy was talking. We were at his house and we got the munchies and we decided we were going to make nachos. So we got all the shit for nachos out, right? Like chips, cheese, black olives, sour cream, like all the good shit.
You
Salsa.
lost me at black olives, but keep going.
Okay, for the black olive folks, I know that's like a taste thing. Okay, so
I'm not trying to sound racist by saying I don't like.
You lost me at the black olives. If it was some wholesome green olives,
I don't like any olives. Just so
everybody's Kalamata. I hate them all. Dude, seedless seeds. I don't like any olives.
I don't like any of those. Yeah. But jalapenos.
But especially the black ones I don't like. No,
I didn't say that, Trump.
Dude, so what's it called? So anyway, fucking maybe not olives, all right, if you don't want those. But we got all the shit out and we go, dude, instead of making regular nachos, how about we fucking just put it all in a bowl and then we just eat it? Like with a spoon, and we were like, "That sounds like a great." So we crushed up the chips. We took
a good idea.
all the fucking things, microwaved it,
that.
Dude. 2 bites into it, we're like, "This is fucking horrible!" Like it was like just like crunched up and just like a bunch of mush. It was a bunch of mush.
Done that so many times.
Maybe it was like more robust. This was like mashed.
I feel like this is where our friendship might not continue.
Dude, it was like this was horrible. We should have just had regular nachos.
It's like a taco salad, kind of.
See, okay, you'd have to see what we did. We did it very stupid, like version, because like we mashed the chips. Like this is like mush.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? This was microwaved.
You didn't, like crunch them a little, like you
didn't started that way, but I think everything got soggy.
You completely like turned them into dust.
We turned it into a fucking paste.
Okay, yeah, that's not good.
That was horrible.
Like if you break them up into smaller bits of the chips, that's fine.
That was fucking horrible, dude. And like the other thing was like we were watching. Remember, Dude, Where's My Car?
Yeah.
This was another day. We were watching Dude, Where's My Car when it was like a new movie that was out on DVD.
Holy shit, that dates this story.
Yeah. Oh, this is a long ass time ago, bro. Well, all my drug stories are from a long ass time ago because I've been sober a long time. So we were watching Dude, Where's My Car? And there's a scene in the movie where the phone rings in the movie. And this is, once again, early 2000s. There was a house phone. His parents had a house phone. And I'm at his parents' house, obviously. We're in high school. The phone rings on the movie. I immediately pick up his phone. I go, hello? And I hear the dial tone, and he starts fucking busting out laughing, dude. He's like, bro, not only did you answer the phone in my house, but not only was it in the movie, but you answered the phone in my house. Like, why the fuck would you answer my phone? You know what I mean?
I could see that. I've done shit like that before.
For sure. It was fun. We were both laughing. I was laughing. Like, it was funny. It was hilarious.
This definitely makes sense. Why we were clowning on Limp Bizkit last time I was there.
What did we say? I forgot.
I don't know. I remember we were talking about like it was like a documentary that me and Paul had seen. It was
Woodstock. We were talking about Woodstock.
Yeah,
that was a good documentary, man. I like that.
That was a really good one.
Because if you're like that age of millennial, like or if you were Generation
You're
X,
like the beginning millennial.
The older millennial.
Millennial.
For sure. It's interesting because me and my sister are on total opposite spectrums of millennial generation. Like I am like the older, like we're the older spectrum of millennial. She is 25. So she is arguably she's right on the cusp.
Can you have a conversation with her?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. She's on the cusp. She made that picture. She's on the cusp, which automatically makes her better at conversation.
No, I mean she seems cooler.
She's talented. She's a talented visual artist for sure, dude. She like has her shit.
She's still in Cali.
She'll do galleries. Yeah, she does shit and she'll have shit in galleries and stuff. Like she does awesome. That was a long time ago too. She's gotten way better.
That's dope.
That's from years ago. So she's right on that cusp of like right at the edge of millennial / Gen Z. You know?
Oh yeah,
because I think Gen Z.
When was she born? When was
96.
She born?
So Gen Z is supposed to be anybody. You could argue either 95, 96 ish. That's supposed to be like the cutoff. Like that's the end of millennial.
Yeah. For the longest, I would tell people I'm technically a millennial, and they were like, "Shut the fuck up! You're not a millennial." Like millennial, it starts at like 1983. Yeah, early 80s. Right, yeah, and I'm 86.
Technically, I think is the official.
Yeah.
So, like, if you were born 80, the point is, like, if you can remember, I think
the reason that came up was I dated somebody that was around the same age as your sister.
And then she was like, "No."
She was like, "No, you're an old guy." I was like, "I'm not old. Shut up, bitch." I was like, technically, millennials start early 80s.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And she couldn't. She still thought I was fucking.
I think because the stereo, and also like it also depends on who you are as a person too. Because like the stereotype, I think of a millennial. Like you could be millennial age, but you might not be a person that embodies like the stereotype of millennial.
Exactly.
Like, dude, the fucking dude that we are the flesh with my music project and shit. The other guy, the producer of it. He's one of my best friends. I've known him for a long fucking time. Like we're cool. And I would say this if he was here. I always tell him this. He's like the epitome of a fucking millennial. He's 5 years younger than me. So, we're basically.
Does he wear one of those fucking crazy hats that looks like.
Check it out. So we're basically the same age.
Kung Lao from fucking Mortal Kombat.
Right. So we're basically the same age, but he is just way more of like an epitome of a millennial compared to me. Like, dude, he's the kind of guy where like, yes, he does wear fucking trendy hats. He fucking goes to Coachella every fucking year. Like dude, when he steps into like he does everything on his phone, like everything he had, like not even like now, like he's been doing this for 10 years, everything's on his phone, like ordering things and doing it. And that's a bad example, but this is the thing that was really epitome for me. When he goes to Chipotle or any place that's like a quick service where you can customize everything, dude, not only would I hate being the person serving him, I hate listening to him. He's like, he customizes everything like so fucking meticulously that I just want to fucking strangle him. When I hear, like, he's like, so can we have like half of this rice and a little bit of cheese, but not too much cheese? And can I have a little bit of this chicken, but the half of lettuce and the half, like, dude, so annoyingly customized. That is
fucking terrible.
And it's not because of allergies. It's not because of fucking diet.
It's just because he's a fucking.
It's because he wants things specifically tweaked to his fucking bitch ass way.
Don't tell him about this podcast,
dude. No, I would say this if he was here, because right now he'd be like, "Whatever, bro. I want things the way I want them to taste," and I'd be like, "Fuck you, dude." Like he customizes things so fucking hardcore. I
don't like that shit at all.
I don't like it either, dude. I don't, and everything, dude. Like he'll buy like shoes. Like he's like, "Yeah, I'd like to use this website and this website, and if you do this and do that, it's like, Jesus, dude. I would fucking blow my brains out if I were you. Like the way that you fucking like overthink things and customize things.
Exactly. It feels like an overthinking mentality of like,
yeah.
Either
it's just a different personality.
If you want cheese, get cheese. If you don't, fucking don't. Don't ask for like 25% cheese. What the fuck does 25% cheese mean?
Dude, seriously. Like we were sitting in Santa Monica writing. We were writing a song, right? And we were fucking recording shit and rapping. We were taking a break. We were gonna have some lunch. We didn't want to leave, right, for the sake of just keeping ourselves in the creative zone.
Yeah.
So we ordered some food, right? So he got Uber Eats or Post, whatever the fuck. And he was like, "So what do you want?"
Malone mates.
Yeah, right. So I was like, "What do you want?" And I just told him, and then he's like, "Oh, they don't have that. Like they're out of that." I'm like, "Cool, I'll just get this instead." He's like, "Dude, you sure? Are you sure? Like, you're so laid back about it. You're so, I'm like, yeah, I don't fucking care.
Most people don't fucking care about
some people do though, man.
Some people do. And that's why I can't hang out with those people.
I'll tell you, that's another market difference, man, between people here. People here are just so fucking cool. They go with the flow. It's not a big deal. People on average, I didn't realize how fucking...
People here are more California than California?
No, people in California, it's the opposite of like the stereotype. Like, yeah, we're laid back and we hang out in our sandals by the beach and recycle. Like, dude, most people, especially, I should say, at least in like cities like LA and stuff where it's like really like the city.
Up their own ass.
Dude, it's like people are not cool with most shit. People want things their fucking way all the time, exactly how they want it.
People are cool.
People here are way more laid back about shit. Like, you know what I mean? Way more. People
hear that, LA? Fuck you.
It is that way, dude. I never realized how much of a dick I naturally was until I came here. And I've gotten so much nicer since I've been here because it's just so much more laid back, dude. And everybody's just so cool and everything's just not a big deal. And like, there's so many less people that have an attitude. That's why when I do meet people with attitudes here, it's so crazy to me because I'm so used to people just being so chill.
But I do have a question. Like, do you think it could get to that point where that kind of attitude could spread here because more people from California are moving here?
It's possible, but I'll tell you well, I'll tell you this,
because it's like there's been a huge inflation of people moving.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. I don't like to tell people where I came from here because of the stereotypes that come with the stigma that comes with it. Yeah. And because I get it, because I agree. Check it out. Answer to your question. Yes. The reason why, when you go to Austin, I was in Austin Saturday. It's very much like, it's definitely way night. People on average are more chill, but there is that aspect because a shitload of people have moved there.
Yeah, but people kind of always were like that more in Austin.
Always?
Too. Yeah. From what I've seen, here, not so much. People in Austin were a little bit more, yeah, we're cool, but kind of fuck you too.
Okay.
Here in Dallas, everybody's like, we're okay. It's just you got Cowboys in Fort Worth, and you got fucking the metropolitan shit in Dallas.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. But even in comparison, though, people in Austin are way more chill, like comparatively. But you do have a little bit more of that.
That speaks volumes.
Yeah, because like if you're saying that the Austin people came off as a little hoity-toity, imagine that time
seemed a
times
little
20
like that.
Yeah, imagine that times 20.
Well, you just definitely. I never really thought about moving to LA, but I'm not going to think about it.
It's a different. And then the issue now is it's an entirely different place because of just like COVID and all that shit. I mean, it's going to take a while for it. Like everything's opening up back there now. Like everything's open. I talked to my best friend the other day. He's like, it's pretty much back to 100% normal, but it's going to take like he's like it's definitely not what it used to be.
It's like how Texas was maybe like a year ago. Year and a half ago, maybe?
No, because there's so many more. It's so different there, dude, politically and just the way things are, the homelessness and just crime and the way just think the city has changed. Like I talked to all my friends, they're like, it's definitely been changed a lot by COVID, the way things were. So who knows how long it's going to take? At least a couple years for it to bounce back, I'd assume at least.
Jeez. Okay.
So just in terms of the details, like the small stuff, like because so many people have left. And like, you know what I mean? Like crime went up, during COVID and all that shit.
Yeah.
So,
I knew a lot of comics that left there.
A lot of people left in general, dude. I did, a lot of fucking people. But fuck, man. Anyway, we're over the time. But yeah, this has been fucking cool, man.
Oh, we can go as long as you want, dude. I don't give a shit.
That's what she said.
And then you got that baby that sounds like a cat out there.
Yeah, dude. Fucking cat, dude.
You got that cat baby.
Dude, seriously, man. But yeah, no, I mean, unless there's anything else, dude, that's all I got with our fucking stories and all kinds of shit.
We were just bullshitting this whole time. So
yeah, we were. But I usually like to keep these like around an hour, but we can fucking keep talking. I don't care, bro. If you're game, I'm game. You're fucking 3 beers deep right now. In, yeah. How many did you bring?
Well, I brought a 6er, so I'll go one more with you.
Yeah.
And then we can call it quits.
That sounds good, man. Sounds good. But yeah, no, it's different, dude. It's gonna take. I'm going out there at the end of next month for a couple days, so I'll have to see for myself. But no, it definitely is different. Just like tiny little things, like dude, you go to downtown Dallas, like even Austin, like okay, go to downtown Dallas. You can park there anywhere pretty much all day for like $5.
Yeah.
Right? Fort Worth. Don't have to pay
Deep
anything.
Ellum shit though. Deep Ellum kind of sucks.
Dude,
Like,
even
there
so,
are
even
a couple
so.
places you can park.
You
for,
can
like-
still, and the fact that you can still find places to park.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Well,
Austin,
there's a place close to DCC that's like
easy.
$5.
Yeah, or dude, I just park on the street. Sometimes I don't even pay the meter. I've gotten one ticket in like
Yeah.
months and months and months of parking.
Yeah, they don't
there.
give a shit sometimes.
Austin, bro. I go to Austin on Saturday night. I fucking go to a paid parking lot. I don't pay. I park. I'm fine. Like people on the street park, and well, here's the thing.
Yeah, I've
I
always
talk to all
had that
kinds-
experiences in Austin where they fucking
Okay.
they will fucking
I would
nail
assume-
your ass to the wall.
That's what I assumed. But then I talked to all these other comedians. I'm like, hey, bro, by the way, I parked there. What's the parking stand? They're all like, dude, honestly, bro, I park on the street or over in that parking lot all the time. I never pay for parking, and I've
Okay.
been fine. So
I
I'm
need
just
to
saying,
know those parking lots, son.
yeah, but who knows? Maybe that was just a lucky streak or something. But even I've been told, even when you get parking tickets in Austin, they're like $20.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So
Fuck.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't know this shit it was that cheap. I didn't know.
yeah, it's crazy, dude. It's fucking crazy.
So you want to talk about now?
Dude,
Let's steer away from drug shit. Let's make it funny.
no, man. No, to be honest, man, I don't even fucking have much else. Plus, I can hear that I'm gonna need to help out with this kid. So, I should we can still hang out, but I should probably wrap this up so I can just start taking everything down.
Okay.
But yeah, we already did the promo stuff, which is cool. So you don't have to remember shit at the end of the podcast. But yeah, thanks everybody for listening. Catch Casey Coleman, follow him on Instagram, follow him on socials. Hilarious guy. I've
Hit
done
me up,
shows with him.
y'all.
Hit him up. He's doing a bunch of dates around Dallas, Fort Worth, and Texas, and on the road. He'll be back again for sure. But yeah, man, thanks for coming out, dude. Everybody
you for
keep
having me,
listening.
dude.
Absolutely, man. And we'll catch everybody next time. Crux, yeah.
Nights.
Let me hear you say Crux, yeah. Crux, yeah. Let me hear you say Crux, yeah. Crux, yeah. Crux, yeah podcast.
Crux proper.